When we were young, life was so much fun, squirting water guns as we played. We skipped hopscotch, tossing bottle tops on sidewalk chalk lines we made. How we laughed at jokes that the older folks said was silly and such a bore. Yet somehow, as the years flew by, those jokes were funny no more. Why did we choose to grow up? Where did we leave our youth? Our summers were spent playing pranks on our friends, never caring if grown-ups approved. We never feared the height or fall when we tried to climb a tree. Let's turn the clock back to the time when you would play and laugh with me. Remember when we were only 10, spilling ice cream on our best clothes. On Halloween, we were king and queen in our parents' nightgowns and robes. All the simplest toys brought the sweetest joys. We felt so protected and warm. Yet somehow, as the years flew by, we were waiting to be reborn. All the simplest joys brought the sweetest joys. We felt so protected and warm. Somewhere that child lives in my heart, waiting to be reborn. Why don't we be young again, living in make-believe? The joy of each day could return to stay if you would play and laugh with me. Pillow fights, flying kites, can't be adult therapy. Come take my hand, we'll find that land, or won't. You laugh with me. Won't you laugh with me? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Those of you who are here live, those of you who are watching live, and those of you who tune in later in the week. And good to be back after a couple Sundays off. And of course, I was watching on the TV, the smart TV on the big screen, and didn't want to be here because I didn't feel it was fair for candidates to see the senior minister lurking in the audience and going like, no, don't do that. Which I wouldn't have said anyway. My wife does that to me, though. She'll sit there and go like, don't tell that one, don't tell that joke. It's too late, he told it. Oh, no. No, hey, it was great to come back in yesterday, too, because I had a couple days off this week and see so much happening out here. I don't know if you notice some of the changes that occur when our volunteer corps gets active here. For instance, of course, the bookstore. Dee Dee, thank you so much for all you've done there. And I'm sure Marilyn will be reminding you all that there's a sale going on as well. And but then I also was greeted by Kevin McCreary's. You know, he's got the me. Something loose here? See? Yeah, maybe the wire's going on this or something. Guess I'll just have to hold my head like this. Anyway, yes. They pressure washed the whole sidewalks out there, the patio in the back and all the driveways and everything. And castle keepers, yeah. Then we had a work day yesterday. I hope I don't forget anybody, but Joe was here, Terry, Johnson, Mike, Sharon, and myself. And we did a lot of weeding and mulching and trimming, and it's been a while since we've had a work day, so it definitely, I can see it. Whether you all see it because you're not here as often as I am, but those of you who are around. And then, of course, when I got here, when I was leaving, I should say, Stephen from Specialty Lawn Care was here, and he spends hours and hours here every week. And if you get back to the gardens, this is how it's nice. There's actually a path back there again that's weeded instead of just all weeds. And so everybody who pitches in and does so much around here, I know our volunteer program has taken a beating, so to speak, during this pandemic, except for, of course, our bookstore and our flower ministry. They're still active, and we've got our wonderful music team. But we foresee the time when all of our volunteer groups, I think there was 12 or 13 of them at our height, will be back in action. So we look forward to that. But speaking of action, I think we should get this service moving here.
Welcome home, welcome home. Even through your darkest night, you've never been alone. Oh, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. Even through your darkest night, you've never been alone. Be at peace. Be at peace. Leave your struggles at the door and feel the calm increase. Be at peace. Be at peace. Be at peace. Leave your struggles at the door and feel the calm increase. Be at peace. God's love is always here to guide our way. Release all doubt and fear. There's a better way. Pray and know it is so. It only takes a little faith to make the blessings flow. Pray and know, pray and know, it is so. It's only with a little faith the blessings always flow. Pray and know, God's love is always here to show the way. Release the doubt and fear. It's a brand new day. Welcome home. Welcome home. We're holding you in love and light, and everything's all right. So welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Even on your darkest night, you've never been alone. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home.
Thank you, Joy. Beautiful. Good morning.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where people can see the troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name. The world is a different place now. Things are strange, it's true. We're missing the connections connecting me and you. Like a simple handshake or a hug. Sometimes you need to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where people can see that troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
Thank you.
On a morning like this, anything's possible. No telling what I may achieve. With an attitude like this, there are no limits, only up to me to conceive. On a morning like this, mountains are moved. I'm in the groove for sure. And it started out with an inner quietness, and I felt the rightness of my life and the clarity that came over me, and I can see my way to make a better world, starting with me. On an afternoon like this, I'll follow my bliss, eyes wide open to the opportunities. Any chance I get, I'll show a little kindness. I'm more than happy to share the love. On a day like this, mountains are moved. We're in the groove for sure. And it started out with an inner quietness, and I felt the rightness in my soul and the clarity that came over me, and I can see my way to make a better world, starting with me. Every day's a gift, and I am thankful. I say a little prayer within. I feel the love for my life, and I'm excited that tomorrow I get the chance to do it all again. On a night like this, I'll go outside with a friend by my side, and we'll notice the stars. Beauty is better when it's shared with another on the same vibration as you. On a night like this, hearts are moved, we're in the groove for sure. On a morning like this, on a day like this, on a night like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Terrell. Fortunately, we have wonderful days and nights like this. Our beautiful flowers this morning were arranged by Levon. Thank you, Levon. They've not been dedicated, so if you'd like to have them for yourself or to give to somebody, go in the bookstore after the service. And just a reminder, next Sunday is fall back, so set your clocks back 1 hour. Here we go again. Hopefully this will end at some point. And then we have 3 things to sign in the foyer if you choose to. One, we have cards for Jimmy Valamis. Is he in the hospital or? Rehab center. So sign a card for Jimmy. The other 2 things, Virginia has brought some strips of cloth that you may sign, and they will go into a quilt. And that is for Reverend Bob. No surprises. And then the other thing is to sign up to attend Reverend Bob's party here on December the 5th. There's a sign-up sheet on the right side in the foyer as you go out. And just a reminder to check out those beautiful angels and the gifts in the bookstore. Dee Dee has outdone herself. They are super.
Sign those things in there'll be pieces of paper cloth in the bookstore Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even Friday morning.
Okay, so pieces for the quilt will be in the bookstore Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning that you can come in and sign them if you didn't make it into church today. And now it's time for the daily word reading. The word today is listen. In the quiet of my heart, I listen for the voice of Spirit. During the course of the busy day, I may hear all kinds of things, conversations, music, sounds from nature, traffic noise, and even my own constant self-talk. Sometimes all that I'm hearing may numb me to the more intentional act of listening. As I listen, I become aware of the voice of Spirit. Its comforting, guiding presence feels like a homecoming. As I settle into a tranquil environment and begin to relax my body and my mind, I create a welcoming space for listening to the assuring voice of Spirit, discernible as my inner knowing. I breathe deeply and I rest in this space. I go about my day listening attentively for the voice of Spirit expressing through all the people of my life. And from the book of Luke, blessed, rather, are those who hear the word of God and obey it. And so it is. The word today is listen.
Well, yeah. Actually, I planned ahead of time to already do this. Trick or treat. Well, don't worry. If it keeps doing it, I'll just have Rob mute this, and I'll go over and be behind the podium like I have never done in 25 years. So, trick or treat. Halloween is going to be a little different this year. And by the way, when I say trick or treat, I'm posing a question, not putting in a request for candy. We don't want any of your Halloween candy left at church this year. But I don't know. I don't even know if the kids will be out trick-or-treating this year. I'm planning on putting out our ceramic pumpkin, I guess, because I can always leave it up with the Thanksgiving theme, and I'll get a smaller bag of candy, and that way I can be cheaper if there are more kids out, but I don't want to have it, because I don't like the candy to go to waste. And I certainly don't like it to go to my waste either. So I'm going to walk over here for a minute, and we're going to switch out mics. Well, I think we'll just go with this mic, because to switch out, I dress them. That would really not be a treat. That would not be a treat. No, we can do it from here. Just have to remember the things that are up here. So, trick or treat, right? So, Halloween this year, I understand some people are just skipping right to Christmas, you know, and because it's been spooky enough this year, I guess. You know, it's like we've had enough of that, but we can't skip Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving and Christmas are, to me, part of the same holiday. You can't really have a good Christmas unless you are also giving thanks for the blessings that we do have. So last year at this time, I was just finishing up a retreat down at Safety Harbor Spa. And it was entitled 2020 Spiritual Vision. And the Reverend Marilyn was there, Terrell and Michelle were there. And they actually got to help me with my opening night. And the way it started out was, Doctor, my eyes have seen the years. No, I'm not going to sing. That's definitely a trick. No. Doctor, my eyes have seen the years and the slow parade of fears without crying. Now I want to understand. I have done all that I could to see the evil and the good without hiding. You must help me if you can. Doctor, my eyes, tell me what is wrong. Was I unwise to leave them open for so long? Because I have wandered through this world, and as each moment has unfurled, I've been waiting to awaken from these dreams. So after, and of course, Terrell did the whole song. Terrell and Michelle did the whole song. I wasn't going to go into all of it. I just came out after that is Dr. Love. And Dr. Love this time was an eye doctor, as opposed to being Brother Love's brother. But I guess I was still Brother Love's brother too. But anyway, I treated everyone at the conference to an I am exam. And we got to answer questions about what we see as how we see ourselves. And I especially asked the question then, how will you see yourself in 2020 with spiritual vision? And it was that week, actually, at the Safety Harbor Spa during my meditation time, that I got the vision very clearly from Spirit that it was my time to retire in 2020. And so I came back and I announced that to the board of directors, and then, of course, I announced it to the congregation in February at our annual membership meeting. Now, what I did not see clearly was what was going to happen in March. I had no idea whatsoever that my last year was going to look like March did, and then April, and then May, and then June, July, August, September, October, and hopefully we'll be through this soon. But the truth is, probably not before I retire. And so trick or treat. That's a question that we, I think, as individuals, get to ask of life. And it really depends on how you look at life, how you see life. We could say, well, that was a pretty bad trick. When we heard that in March, businesses were shutting down, and that was to include Unity of Palm Harbor at that time. Now, the treat about that was that Rob and the team, they got together and we started live streaming right away. Right away that week. We found out about it on Tuesday, and by Saturday we were rocking and rolling. Sunday morning it was Unity of Palm Harbor Live. That was a treat. And, you know, on Easter Sunday, I never expected my last Easter I would just be preaching to the choir, because that was the only people we had here. were the musicians and the singers. And obviously, our congregation that was here at the church was greatly diminished, as it still is. And some of us are more happy to be here than others. So, yeah, that was me right around Easter. But we had diminished numbers here, but we find that we're reaching people through our internet ministry and through our online services. So there's the treat part of it. The trick part of it is that, yes, with a diminished number of people in the audience, we also had diminished income. But then the treat part was that we found out that we had a core group of people who were stewards of the church, who stepped forward. And yes, we had a reduction in our income, but because we had also reserves and we had our steward givers, here we are today in pretty darn good shape. A lot better than I would have guessed in June. Right? We have a treat in our fall program. We didn't know if it would be able to go forth this year, but Reverend Marilyn put it together, figured out some ways that people could meet here at church, also meet on Zoom. And the theme was perfect because it was that life changes and love endures. And friends, it is especially during trying times like these, when change is happening very rapidly, that we can go to that changeless core place of enduring love within us. Now more than ever, it's important to know that life changes, but love endures. Now, I've been, especially for my talks, been working with the works of Robert Brummett, Transformational Living with Transition. This one is called Living Originally. And in it, he talks about two forms of change. Life is always changing for us. And one form is what he calls translational change. Translational teachings have been helpful to many people. They can help to make life work better. They can help us to develop better relationships, better health, and more prosperity. And perhaps more important, they often provide a source of comfort and consolation amid the difficulties of life. Translational teachings strive to make the ego more comfortable and more in control. Nothing wrong with that. It's good to be comfortable. It's actually not true that we're in control, but we like to feel that sometimes, don't we? But transformational teachings challenge the arrogance and delusion of the ego. They turn the world upside down and inside out. He says that today we are being called to go beyond ourself, not because the self is bad, but because we are being called to grow up. Our present egoic level of development was never meant to be the final stage of our evolution. This present stage is a bit like adolescence, necessary, but not a good place to stay. If our current level of development was meant to be the end of our evolution, then the human race may have been doomed from the start, because we cannot sustain 7 billion self-centered egos on this planet. Like a plague of locusts, we are destroying the very resources that give us our life. Translational teachings tend to be about, as he said, creating a better life. But in some ways, I think what we're trying to do is create a better dream, create a better illusion. I had a dream last night. It wasn't a terrible dream. I was actually waiting for an officer to write me up a ticket because I was parked in the no parking zone, listening to the radio or something. It was just one of those silly dreams, and I didn't try to make it better. I didn't say, but officer, you must understand I'm a minister and I was preparing my talk. No, what did I do? I woke up. Like I'm dreaming. I don't have to live in this dream. Just wake up, Bob, and go back to sleep and have another better dream. See? What we're being called to do is to wake up to who and what we truly are. You know, the Buddha was asked, "Are you a god?" He said, "No." He said, "Well, what are you then?" He said, "I'm awake." And we are desiring on some level of our consciousness. We are desiring to want to be awake. To be awake to what? To be awake to who we really are. To know that we are more than our bodies, we are more than our words, we are more than our actions, and this is important, we are more than our thoughts. Sometimes I think we can think ourselves into experiencing our spirituality. But that's kind of like a bird looking for air. It's like a fish looking for water. Because you see, we are not just mental beings. We are spiritual beings. And it doesn't say, be still and think about that. That doesn't work. It's be still and know. And so this idea of knowing is really the key to mindfulness. Mindfulness is not having a mind full of thoughts. It's not about just affirmations and denials. Again, these tools, very useful for building better lives. We've all used them to build better lives. But this transformation that's taking place is calling us to a new level of consciousness, a new level of knowing ourselves, of being still, and knowing that I am that I am. Now, having said that, I am that I am can just be another mental game for us. I can sit there thinking all the time, I am that I am. And it helps because it does calm the mind and gets us to a point of stillness. But what we're talking about is knowing is when we know the truth, it's when we know it in our hearts. And so there's a revelation, there's a feeling, there's an inspiration that comes from within that says, I am that I am. I am more than my thoughts. I am more than my emotions. Now, the trick is that then right away the mind says, well, then what are you? And that doesn't work again because the mind can't figure that out. It can come from the stillness, from the still small voice. See? So we have to just, and I think what we want to just do is experience who we are. To notice our thoughts, but to notice them without judging ourselves about them. This is being mindful. It's like being able to sit there and go like, well, that's interesting. There's a worry thought. Wow. Interesting. Oh, there's a jealous thought. Whew. Uh-oh, I just had a hate thought, and I hate that. Right? They're thoughts. They come and they go. We have them all the time. We can't fight with them. We can't stop them. But we can notice that there's something beyond the words and thoughts. And we get that sense of reality. So we have to stop judging ourselves by our thoughts. Because just because I have an angry thought doesn't mean I'm an angry person. It just means I had an angry thought. And until we quit judging ourselves, it's pretty darn hard to quit judging others. This is why Jesus said, why are you trying to get the splinter out of your neighbor's eye when you got a log in your own eye? See? We can look at life as trick or treat. And we can look at God as either a trickster or a treat. But friends, the I am that I am does not trick us. That's the ego. That's the Satan playing the game of judging by appearances, thinking we're in control of the world. And that changes constantly. But the enduring love that is God, when we can just open to that, quit trying to define it, quit trying to catch it, quit trying to know God from a mental perspective, and just know that life is a treat. Life is a gift from God. Every flower is a gift from God. Every friend is a gift from God. So do we have to know what the source is in order to experience the flow? Of course not. Of course not. We just have to stay open. When we come into this world, we put on masks. Now, most of us are used to wearing masks on October 31st. I don't know if anybody has gotten used to wearing them in March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. But we do, because heroes wear masks, and so do we, because we care about others. When we reopened the sanctuary, we asked everybody to wear the mask when they're around other people. When you're socially distant, of course, sit there and be comfortable. And a lot of people are just more comfortable staying at home, and we understand all that. But we have to look beyond the masks. All the various differences. Diversity is a part of life, and it's certainly a part of the human family. But we are not just the human family. We are children of God, created in the image and likeness of God. And what we are being called to do is to acknowledge that and to prove it. So Paul said, be transformed by the renewal of your mind. He said, have that mind in you that was in Christ Jesus. He said, Christ in you is the hope of glory. You know, when Jesus was in that place where he could state with authority, the Father and I are one, he healed people. The lame danced, the blind could see, the sick were cured, even the dead were raised. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founders, they got to that place where they could say the Father and I are one. And guess what? People were healed. Unity was born. And we today are, for the most part, still a translational vehicle of change. But we are called to also be a part of the transformation that is taking place through the shared spiritual awakening. And what it's about our daily lives, looking beyond the mask, not judging people for the political party they're into, or the football team that they love, or the clothes that they wear, or whether they have tattoos or not, the appearances, the race, the religion. It's knowing that deep inside, we are all enduring love. That is the stuff we are made of. And that is what we are being called to express. Now, we're going to have a little experience of that, being still and knowing, feeling that enduring love and sharing it with others. And I'm going to ask Joy to lead us into that time with a bit of music. And after the meditation, we'll ask her to bring us out as well.
over my soul. Sweep over my soul. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep over my soul. Sweep out hate and fear. Sweep out hate and fear. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep out hate and fear. Sweep in love and peace. Sweep in love and peace. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep in love and peace. Sweep in grace and joy. Sweep in grace and joy. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep in grace and joy.
I invite you now to sit back and take a nice deep breath. Feel your body just relaxing into the chair. And let us set the intention this morning to be present to the presence that we are. Let us say in our own way, "Come, gracious Spirit. We know you are with us always, but now we invite you to sweep in grace and joy." We invite you, sweet Spirit, to cleanse our minds and our hearts of that which would prevent us from knowing you better. As the body relaxes, the mind becomes quiet. And yes, thoughts still come to the surface. They're interesting, aren't they? And we just go back to the heart center, where we feel that presence of Spirit, where we feel that enduring love, it's like a spiritual hug. It's a reassurance. I am with you always. Through the times of chaos, the times of change. Good times, bad times. Happy and sad times. Beloved, I am with you always. For the I am is the Lord your God. Everywhere present and always a presence that we can turn to and be assured of unconditional, unchanging love. Goodbye, busy thoughts. Hello, love. Right here and right now, wherever you may be, God is knocking at the door of your heart. Not so much to say, let me in, because God's already there. Instead, it's more of a, let me out. Let your true self free. Let your light shine. Let your enduring love burst forth like a fountain of joy. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep over my soul. And let's just sit for a moment in the silence and feel the bliss. Be still and know. And as we know this for ourselves, let us see beyond the masks of our friends and family members. Let's look into their hearts and see the gold that is there, the pearl of great price. Let us know that this enduring love, its time has come. It is time for it to wash away hate and fear from the planet, from the human minds and the human hearts. So much stuff has come up to be healed that we call it a pandemic. But it is a golden opportunity for God to bring us together, that we may be a part of healing the world, making it a better place. And so we take a moment in deepest gratitude God, we know that you are good all the time. And we give thanks that we're getting there. That every day and every way, we as a people and as individuals are getting better and better and better. We love and adore you, sweet Spirit. Our hearts rejoice as we say, amen and amen.
You can relax now. Come on and open your eyes. Breathe deeply now. I am with you. Oh, my sweet, sweet child, who do you think you are? You are the child of God, and that will never change. You had a dream. You misunderstood. You thought we were separate, But now you hear my voice and you can relax now. Come on and open your eyes. Breathe deeply now. I am with you. You are the love of my life. You are my one creation. You are eternity, and that will never change. You had a dream. You misunderstood. You thought we were separate, but now you hear my voice and you can relax now. Come on and open your eyes. Breathe deeply now. I am with you. Oh, my sweet, sweet child. You are the love of my life. You are my one creation, and that will never change. You are eternity. You are divinity, and that can never change. Open your eyes and breathe. You are a child of God, and that has never changed. You are what you are. You are eternity. You are divinity. You can relax now. Come on and open your eyes. You are the child of God. That will never change.
Thank you so much, Joy, for that beautiful reminder. As you go forth today, remember, you are a child of God, and that will never change. It's that time in our service now when we do have an opportunity to give. We do give thanks for those of you who are here who wish to contribute, and certainly those of our friends online that are watching. Thank you for your donations. It's keeping us going in more ways than you would know. So we like to bless those offerings here at Unity of Palm Harbor. And we do that as we know and affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Let's remain in that consciousness as we take the opportunity to give and receive the gift of song. 2, 3, 4.
Sacred love is all that you are. You can sing it, it would help. You are sacred love. God's sacred love is all that you are. You are blessed peace is all that you are. Blessed peace, God, blessed peace is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy is all that you are. You are sacred love. God's sacred love is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. We are sacred love. Sacred love is all that we are. We are sacred love. Sacred love is all that we are. We are sacred love. Sacred love is all that we are. We are sacred love. Sacred love is all that we are.
All right. Thank you, band. And thank all of you. We know that you are blessed, and we are blessed by your gifts and offerings. And we give thanks that God is blessing those who give and the gifts. So thank you very much. We'll see you next week for All Saints' Day. So don't have a hangover from Halloween. Get up in the morning and get to church. Or you can sit at home and watch it, right, exactly. So anyway, let us close with a prayer for protection, and we'll follow that up with Let There Be Peace on Earth. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Amen.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be our joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin